Welcome everybody, and we're back at the Roseland Oil and Gas Show here in the Horseshoe Arena in Midland, Texas. Tallybook Troubleshooting, bringing you content. We were live last afternoon, and we're doing a few more episodes this morning. Hopefully you're enjoying the content we're uploading. I'm your host, Keith Stelter, trying to bring a little bit of positive PR to the oil industry, show that there's a little bit more to it than just gas at the pumps, and we're not just, dumb rednecks. We're maybe kind of slightly intelligent rednecks sometimes, maybe. We do lots of great things for the industry, and one of the examples is sitting beside me. I'm going to let her do her own introduction because I'm going to probably screw it up because I still get nervous doing this show. It's part of doing it, right? I was never a marketing guy. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
My name is Missy Kraft. I'm the president and CEO of Love Hope Ranch. We are a 501c3. We do equine therapy serving veterans and first responders and their families. And I spent 11 years in oil and gas and just realized that there was a need for mental health support. And as a plane crash survivor,
wow,
I realized there was a place for me to help those to find purpose and to get through the tough stuff.
Okay, we're going to have to unfold a lot there. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. First off, this will be broadcast on LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes.
You take all the connections, people reaching out, even
Yes.
if you don't know them directly?
Yes.
Perfect. Reach out and make sure you get connected, learn more about the Love Hope Ranch. Before we get to the Love Hope Ranch, a plane crash survivor, you got to give me a couple of details on that. What happened there?
We had an engine problem and we had severe crosswinds. It was 2008. I was just out of college.
How big a plane?
A 737.
You were in a 737 plane crash? Oh my God, where?
Denver, Colorado.
Wow, so this is clearly made the national news, that kind of thing? Wow,
Yes.
how severe was it? Just like the wet? So crosswinds. Wow, I'm just shocked. I don't even know what to say. That's got to be one of the top interesting kind of stories I've ever had on my show.
We went up and came back down. But luckily when we hit, we lost the left engine, which is how we got out. On the right side, I was in the far right back. The engine was on fire, so there was no getting out on the right side. So the left side are the doors we were able to get out of because the engine did fall off. We did crack in half. So there was a lot of head trauma that happened in the middle. The front and the back had a lot of whiplash. I learned a lot about safety that day.
Wow.
And actually, after our accident, Denver worked really hard to really establish a really quality, sustainable response to situations like that because they did not have a solid emergency response plan.
Man,
so out of that, they got that.
So some real good came out of it, at least, from, a plane crash. Wow. So let's transition. So that's got to be a pretty, I don't know what the right word is.
It steals the show every time.
Traumatizing experience. Yeah. So Love Hope Ranch. So this is like you dealing
This is
with
my
it.
why. Suicide and PTSD.
And so how does how does the ranch help deal with this?
So what I realized was going through counseling and therapy, people can be judgmental or we feel they might. And the animals don't reserve that right to do that. They just love us unconditionally. And through horses, dogs, and just animals in general, they love us for who we are. We don't have to be anything special. They love us plus nothing. So I grew up with horses on a ranch and cattle, and the animals were my friends. And so I felt like the animals can provide some support to the anxiety and depression and the mental health for not just veterans and first responders, but just for people in general, to be able to feel that they're not alone and that someone loves them and they have purpose because they have to feed them and let them out and spend time with them. And most of the time, the people that survive that trauma, they connect with an animal and they get a dog. And so I felt like horses were a way to establish that presence for people to be in a safe space, be present, and be willing to be transparent because it's nonverbal. So they don't have to relinquish a replay.
I grew up on a farm as well. We had lots of pigs and cattle and sheep and dogs. We actually didn't have a lot of horses, but
Yeah.
my wife's family, they have quite a bit of horses. So where's the ranch actually located? Is it here in the Permian, or where's it at?
It's in Magnolia, just north of Houston.
Okay. And how many horses do you guys got there?
We have 4 on 19 acres.
So how does one approach you, like say that you feel like it would be a benefit?
How do they approach me with going to the program?
How do they come to you?
We go through an intake process just to understand where they are, and then I take them through multiple assessments so that we can understand where their trauma is and really quantify that, and then to understand their inborn temperament needs. We put them through some various things, so I'm able to give them something back along with their spouse and their children to show them what their needs are, and it's able to provide that way for you to know how to communicate with your spouse in an effective way, and then to learn how to know what your needs are, your temperament needs, and know how to meet those needs in a healthy way. Because most of the time when you go through trauma or you have a letdown, you go through that and find addiction in something. And so sometimes it's extreme, sometimes it's just shopping, sometimes it's just hiding a hole. And so it's helpful to understand that information before we step in the ring, so you understand what your needs are. Now we know what to work on in there, and we share as you provide information. You may or may not, where you'll call me over and say, hey, this is weird, this is strange with the horses, right? So once you go through the assessment, then we bring you in the arena, we do group sessions, and you're able to do things in a group or individually to sort out your stuff so that you can clean house and just live life with joy and not deal with that every day.
That sounds amazing. How long have you guys been around?
We've been a 501c3 for 2 years.
Okay.
So it was a process to get through that. So we're actually doing like a serious launch here in the second quarter.
Okay.
And so we're just getting started. But we've been doing assessments just to understand so that I can master my trade to know what works the best.
How many people are you helping right now? Do you have an approximate number? Where are you guys at now? Ballpark.
I would say
level.
40 to 50.
Okay.
So we have CVMA, the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, made a generous donation to us last month, and they're going to be our first group to come through there so that we can start working with those men and women, those combat vets. It also is open to their families too, right, to be able to engage in those things. So they're going to be our starter. And so whether it's veterans or first responders, that's really we're focused on. We've got some motorcycle groups because that's just who came to us first.
Awesome.
Right, and so then we'll just progress as people say, hey, Missy, we have a need for our fire station. You know, we want to come out. So
how can people help?
Well, for a nonprofit, what I didn't realize is it takes a lot of money to run them. And so currently I don't have staff, and so my greatest need is to buy the 19 acres that we're on.
Okay.
And to be able to hire my staff so I can have them full-time.
Okay.
So contributions that are tax write-off, or since we are a 501c3, they can make that through our website at lovehoperanch.org/donate. There's a way to be able to help us. So whether it's prayer, whether it's money, whether it's volunteering, because we need a lot of that, those are the 3 ways probably that you could benefit us the most.
I'll make sure it's in the post.
Yeah.
What about volunteers?
Yes, so volunteers, we're definitely building. So when we have events and fundraisers and concerts and big fishing tournaments we'll do out there, we definitely need support for food and for help. So you can sign up online.
Coming up that you want to throw a shout out to?
We haven't established that yet. We're probably going to do one in the second quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I've learned a lot, and I'm a whole lot more curious. I'll make sure I post the website and how you can donate online. And like you said, they're also looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And plus a plane crash story, that's a new one for me. I did not see that coming, and was pretty shocked. So
Hey.
if I seemed off guard, I definitely was.
You got to leave oil and gas for something great. You know, you can't leave that world for something that's not a solid way to just leave a legacy. So that's why.
Sure
That's
enough,
why.
but at the same time, I think we got some great people in oil and gas.
Yeah.
And willing to do, it leads, lots of companies donate to causes like this. And
Absolutely.
I think we need to do a better job of PR explaining that the oil and gas does do a lot of this. So
Absolutely. They've committed and helped in so many ways to support their local and people just all over. And so I am grateful. We've had a lot of support and outreach from my history with people that I've worked with. They actually have committed to the majority of the last 2.5 years of the support coming from oil and gas.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. Go check out the Love Hope Ranch, everybody, and I'll post more information in the comments. And to everybody out there, that's how you troubleshoot.